Welcome to Raiders of the Lost Podcast, the ultimate film and TV podcast.
We are your hosts, James
and Anthony.
Welcome to Movie News number 75. Let's talk about Indiana Jones 5, Avatar 2, the latest box office numbers, and so much more.
Hello, movie friends. Welcome back to the show. Hope you all in America had a great holiday week, and we're happy to be back in town. We're back home, and we're back recording. It's nice to be here.
I'm so excited to be here. I missed everybody, even though you're not here in the studio. I missed looking at the camera and talking to everybody and just like pretending like you're listening to us live. But we're so excited because there's so much news to talk about. Let's start with the box office. And now the numbers we're going to give you are for the 5-day holiday weekend. So it's from Wednesday to Sunday. So it's all 5 of those days. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, of course, is still number 1 at the box office. It pulled in another $63 million for that haul, and it passed $600 million worldwide. Strange World for Disney also pulled in $20 million this 5-day weekend, which was a huge bomb, the latest animated film from Pixar.
So $20 million over the 5-day weekend?
Yeah.
Wow.
It is a huge bomb. A $180 million budget for this film. They need $250 million just to kind of break even on this movie, but $20 million on its 5-day opening weekend, which is a huge bummer. I know some people might think, oh, it's Thanksgiving. People go to the movies for Thanksgiving. Black Panther pulled like $9 million, and Encanto came out the same Thanksgiving weekend 5-day haul. They pulled in $40 million, so this is a huge disappointment for Disney and Pixar.
It's also not just a monetary failure, but it's the first Disney animated film in 31 years to get a B cinema score. Woo. Every other Disney animated movie has been an A or A- or A+ for cinema score. It's the first one to get a B. And getting a B cinema score is not good.
It means they didn't really promote it very well.
And I remember seeing the trailers and being like, that's a Pixar, that's a Disney movie? Like, what's even the plot? And it's just didn't seem like very interesting. And I remember we watched the trailer when we went to the movies like a month ago, and I was like, no kid is going to be interested in seeing that. It doesn't seem enticing for kids. And it's probably like parents were bringing their kids to go, do something, go to the movies on the holiday week. So I just think that it might have been a misstep to even go with that project.
Maybe. I think the thing is maybe invested too much money into it. And cinema score doesn't mean like the quality of the movie. It's more about the movie-going experience as well as marketing and everything that goes into it like that. So it's not exactly like the movie's a B.
Cinema score is the initial ratings that audiences give outside of the theater.
But also it's got a A to F grade scale, purchase, rental interest, and demographic data. So it's a lot of things combined into it at once, not just like, was the movie an A, B, or C? So cinema score doesn't mean the quality of the movie. It's like kind of like the overall, like I guess you could pull draw of the movie.
Oh, I gotcha.
If that makes sense. Yeah. But that's a huge bomb. Huge bomb. Devotion's next at 3rd place with a $10 million pull at the 5-day weekend, the latest aviation film, which is based on a true story. Then Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. It's going to pull in about $10 to $12 million in this 1-week special preview that's happening right now. So go see Glass Onion before it's out of theaters because it'll be pulled from theaters and be on Netflix only next week.
We're going to see it today.
Cannot wait. The Menu pulled in $8 million. That's been a pretty profitable R-rated horror movie, black comedy. We recommend it. It was a lot of fun. We love that movie so much.
Yeah, it opened at 8, so it's probably at 30 million right now.
Yeah, something like that.
Good for them.
Excellent. Yeah. It's great for R-rated movies. Bones and All opened up to its wider release to a $4 million box office. We're going to see that tomorrow. Cannot wait. We're going to do an episode on Bones and All and Glass Onion. Bones and All and The Menu as a 2-part episode. We're also going to cover Glass Onion this upcoming Thursday, so definitely go watch it ASAP so you can tune into the episode as well. And then Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans opened to $3 million on a limited release. It's only in about 600 theaters right now. I'm sure it'll get a lot wider, but it's interesting to see a Spielberg movie only pull $3 million and be limited.
I think it's the only movie he's ever had released limited in like 40 years.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Because they're rolling it out like an indie film.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny because it's Steven Spielberg, one of the most successful filmmakers of all time.
Since Jaws, he's just had wide releases on weekends, no matter what movie it is.
And then one quick bit of news about releases as well. This is the 30-year anniversary weekend of Aladdin, which came out in 1992, and that makes you feel old as hell.
I believe it's one of the first movies we ever saw.
Yeah,
our mom said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we loved Aladdin. It's great.
So fun.
What a great movie.
I can show you the world. All right,
diamond.
Let's get into our first category of news, which is going to be Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah, they released a lot of new images. So they released an Empire article last week, and it had some shots of some cinematography shots and some images of Harrison Ford. And then they released new images, mostly of Phoebe Waller-Bridge's new character, who is going to be, looks like the co-lead, like the partner in crime with Indy. Indy sometimes has a partner. Oh, the first one really is the only one he doesn't have like a sidekick, because in Temple of Doom, he has a sidekick. In Indy 3, he has a sidekick, his dad. And then in Indy 4, he has two sidekicks.
Indy's got a sidekick, his buddy in Egypt.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a sidekick, though. They're not going on adventures together.
Half the movie.
I'm talking like going on the adventure together.
I guess.
The Indy 1 is the only one where he doesn't have a sidekick with him.
For the whole time.
Yeah. That's more of just an ally.
True, he's got multiple in the first one because his name. Because then he also has Marion for half the movie as well.
Yeah.
So it's like a mix between him and Marion are kind of like his sidekicks for the film.
Yeah. So it is part of the Indy thing to have a sidekick. So and also
Salah is his name.
Salah, yeah. And then it looks really cool. The cinematography looks great. I read this article where Spielberg gave one bit of advice to Mangold, and he said an Indiana Jones movie should be just an endless movie trailer, is what he said.
That's good advice.
Yeah, it should just be a 2.5 hour long movie trailer, is what he said.
And some more info on Indiana Jones 5, which I'm guessing we're going to get a trailer very soon.
Probably Monday.
Maybe even tonight. But it's got to come soon, because usually when a studio is releasing images like this really quickly, maybe a poster will be next, and then a trailer is usually next, all around the same week. So it's got to come this week. I'd be shocked if it didn't. But also we found out that it's going to have a kick-ass opening sequence like every Indiana Jones movie has to have, and it's going to be a flashback sequence. And for this opening sequence, they de-aged Indy and Harrison Ford to the original trilogy age of Indiana Jones. And I guess Harrison Ford said he was spooked out of how real it looked.
In that scene, it looks like Toby Jones will be in that scene with him, because I've seen set photos of him with dots on his face.
That'd be cool.
Toby Jones co-starring with him. I'm curious to see, because he said it's the first time he's seen it where it looks real, Harrison Ford said.
Yeah, well, that'd be cool. And we don't even have a name for the movie yet. It's just
it's
still
Indy
untitled
5.
Indiana Jones 5. It's got to have a kick-ass title as well. We'll find out. I'm sure
I'm sure
this
this should be called Indiana Jones 5.
Kick-ass.
Kicking ass and taking names.
In AARP.
Kicking the ass of the Nazis. There's some really interesting movie theatrical news coming out from two major studios. So Amazon has just announced that they're committing $1 billion to theatrical released films. So Amazon and Bezos, they want to produce films that are going to not just play in theaters for like 2 days and then go on Amazon Prime. They want legitimate releases in theaters, and then after the standard 2 to 3 months, go on Amazon Prime after that. And also, Lucasfilm is interested in pursuing feature-length theatrical releases for their future Star Wars properties as well, and focus less on television. Kathleen Kennedy and company, these are kind of rumors for the Star Wars ones, but it seems likely that they're going to go, again, try to hit the theatrical releases and try to get back into that. I think that this seems to make sense, because the movie theaters are where the real money is. It's where you can really pack in theaters. Every ticket has to get paid for. At home, you can have not just a family of 5, but then your friend uses your Amazon account, and then they give it to their friend, or like your parents use your Amazon account, whatever. So many people could be using one account. They're not going to be making the money they can be making when you go in a theater. You have to pay for every single ticket, even if it's a little kid. And so I think it makes sense. And also, we always talk about the importance of the event-like quality of going to the theater. And when you watch a great movie in a theater, you remember that, and it sticks with you, and it makes you really love that movie in a different way. And then you're more likely to revisit that film and rewatch it over and over again, because you had such a wonderful experience seeing it for the first time in a big theater, as opposed to, I feel like if you're watching a movie for the first time on your TV or on your phone or laptop, it doesn't have that same impact, and you might be less likely to, I love that movie, I want to rewatch it again.
I think that applies pretty much only to new movies that you see for the first time. There's plenty of old movies that I'll see streaming on like Netflix or something that I haven't seen, but it came out 30 years ago that I still loved, and I've rewatched it. But you're right. I think very few movies that are streaming-only releases have I gone to rewatch or had the desire to rewatch. I think like Tomorrow War is one of the only ones I can think of where I'm like, I'm watching it again. I did watch it again. It was just as fun, because it's not the same as going in person for the experience and just to feel the feelings you feel in a theater, because you can't compare that. And that's why streaming movies, typically they see a huge drop off in rewatches. They hardly get played again, a lot of them, and a lot of people drop off and just click out of it after about 2/3 of the movie in anyways, sometimes even sooner. So movie theater experience is huge, and I think obviously they're understanding that. And I mean, we hate to say we told you so, Amazon. We've been saying this for 2 years. Been saying it for 2 years.
I said it during lockdown.
Obviously, things were confusing back then, you know?
Very.
We're figuring
very,
it out. We get it. We get it.
You guys got to hire us, man.
I know.
You got to hire us.
All right, let's get to Avatar 2. We got some more news. We got another new trailer showing the different tribes pitted against each other. Some great animation, obviously. And also, we got some information from James Cameron as he's been doing a lot of interviews, making a circuits around magazines and stuff like that. And according to James Cameron, Avatar 2 needs to make $2 billion to become a successful film. That's insane.
And to put that into perspective, the most successful movie this year was Top Gun with $1.7 billion. So that was still $300 million short of what James Cameron thinks he needs.
It's pretty wild. Like, it makes you wonder, like, even if this is an incredible film and going experience, is it worth it to spend that much money on a movie to make it where it has to be a $2 billion box office to be successful?
Well, I mean, he earned it with the first film. You know, he earned the right to demand whatever budget he felt was necessary because he made Fox like I think it made $2.7 billion the first film.
It also had to get a re-release though.
Yeah, true. But it made like
re-releases.
2.5 before re-releases. It's still destroyed, absolutely destroyed. So he earned it, the right to that budget for the sequels. You know, I think it'll hit $2 billion. I really do think it will. I think it might go over as well.
It has to have legs.
What else? I mean, what's coming out in the spring, early spring? I can't think of anything. I think that for January and February, it's just going to be Avatar hunting season. They're just going to be Avatar's going to be munching up all of the box office.
Because again, so it needs to have long legs like the first one had, multiple releases, as well as it's over 3 hours. It's like 3 hour, 12-minute runtime. So that's a limited amount of screenings you can do per day in theaters, which will limit how much money you can make initially. And remember, the first movie was a $77 million opening weekend, and then it became the most profitable film of all, most successful film of all time.
It just kept making money. And also, keep in mind, Top Gun made all that money and it didn't get released in China.
True.
And Avatar 2 is getting released in China, and that's the second biggest film market in the world for theatrical releases. So I think that it has a lot of pull, and I think that people will be surprised to see how successful it is. And like I always say, James Cameron is the king of sequels. He never misses.
He doesn't miss.
He never misses. So I think he'll do it. He always does.
All right, let's move on.
Oh, and the budget is reportedly $400 million.
That's just
for just
on
the budget.
paper that we know about.
That's pre-marketing and everything.
I'm sure it's up to like $700-800 million movie.
Yeah,
I guarantee.
Absolutely.
What's the Star Wars news right here?
I already said it. The theatrical releases.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to anyone else besides me who loves and watched the show Luther, starring Idris Elba. It's getting a movie. I don't know if you've heard about this. It's in production right now.
3 episodes in a movie.
It's gonna...
3 seasons in a movie.
We just got our first couple images of Idris as Luther, and it's gonna be awesome. They're gonna capture that dark tone that they had in the show, the R-rated dark tone. And we're in landscapes outside of London. We're not in London anymore. Luther's in the snow. He's like in an underground train, so I can't wait to see this. You know, he's in this deserted subway underground. I don't know where the snow.
Whoa, where's this subway?
It's funny because
where is this?
No, because Luther, he always wears the same suit. He's like kind of like Sherlock. He's always got the same suit coat
got
on.
his outfit.
He's like in an Antarctic landscape, in a snowy landscape with just his suit on and the tie flailing in the wind.
What happened was like they're like, oh, we got a budget. We don't have to shoot down the street anymore.
Legit.
We can actually go somewhere.
I think it's gonna be awesome because I love that show. You know how much I liked it a lot, and I recommend it to people all the time. And you know, that was a huge project for Idris when he was coming up the last like 10-15 years, and it's kind of like flown under the radar. I think it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure it's big in the UK.
That's where I discovered it. Yeah, I'm definitely
sure it's massive there.
So I'm excited to see this movie. I cannot wait.
I'm excited to see it too. I haven't seen the show, but I love him. So
you can just watch like a recap of some.
Yeah,
just so you know the character.
He's a detective.
Yeah, but it's more.
He's like a cool detective.
It's more complicated than that.
He's not a normal detective. He's a cool detective.
He's got some demons in his closet.
Next up, some Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning news. The title has been explained by director-writer Christopher McQuarrie. He says that there are many things emerging from Ethan's past. Dead Reckoning is a navigational term. It means you're picking a course based solely on your last known position, and that becomes quite the metaphor not only for Ethan, but several characters. Very interesting.
Your last known position.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Sounds
like
great.
everyone's in danger.
Yeah, obviously we can't wait. This is going to be part 1 of a 2-part film series based on the last couple stories, I guess.
I'm pretty sure it's based on them. Yeah, it's
I don't know where I was going with that. Sorry, it's been like a week since we filmed.
You forgot what to talk about.
I forgot how to speak. Well, it's interesting that, this story's been continuing since, you could say, the 4th one, right? The 3rd one, we introduced Benji and all that, but since Mission Impossible 4...
You mean the overall arc?
Yeah, the overall arc of this storyline has been the same for a while. We have players from the first movie coming back. Obviously,
Well, Sean Harris, I would say, was the only connective tissue we'd ever seen with the same villain in Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation.
Yes, for Mission Impossible. Then we have characters from the first movie who we've seen in the trailer coming back for Dead Reckoning, which is going to be really interesting. Just like, I can't remember his name, but the agent who was trying to catch Ethan Hunt in the first film.
From the fish tank restaurant.
Who was like the head of the CIA at the time in the movie. He's coming back. It looks like he's trying to get Hunt again. So it's pretty cool to go back to bring more characters in.
I'm back to get you, Ethan. I'm coming.
And if I see bubblegum, I'm running.
Red light, green light. More like yellow light, bitch.
But we cannot wait for Dead Reckoning. We're going to get 2 years in a row of Dead Reckoning 1 and 2. It's coming this June.
Then the origin story comes. There are no origin stories today.
They're gonna there's a prequel in here.
Oh yeah, okay. I can't wait to get to it.
Yeah, it's at the end. Don't worry. We got an origin prequel in here.
All right, I was getting worried for a second. Getting worried.
Next up, Spider-Man Across the Universe will have 6 dominant animation styles, which is really interesting to hear. Obviously, the first Spider-Verse movie has 1 dominant animation style, with others like splattered in there here and there. This one's gonna have 6 main animation styles, which is gonna be highly experimental, and they're swinging at this. I don't know how audience will perceive it. I'm sure they're gonna really enjoy it. It's probably gonna be like kind of like a bashing on your senses. So it's going to be nonstop, but I think it's going to be really interesting.
But also complete creative freedom to do whatever they want. I think the first one is nothing if not extremely creative and unlike any other animated film that has been made. So I think that they're dialing it to 11 now. So I'm curious to see. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
And the next one will have 12 dominant animation styles.
Be funny if there was like a Chalk Zone one.
There could be.
Chalk Zone Spider-Man.
There could be. It's like, I'm sure it could be like Everything Everywhere All at Once when they're going through different dimensions.
Next up, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Christmas holiday special, released on Disney Plus on November 25th the other day, and it's been getting very good reviews. It seems to be like a lot of fun. A lot of people have told me that it's just a great time. It's got like a 4-point rating on Letterboxd right now, so for any fans of that world, go check that out this holiday season.
People love the Guardians. I mean, there's some of my favorite characters in the MCU. They really drew people into the MCU before like the wrapping up of the Infinity War saga, so I think people love the characters. And we have Kevin Bacon as a guest star in this, just to go off the inside jokes from the first movie, which is really great. As well as this movie's supposed to heavily feature Mantis and Drax as kind of like the leads of it. So I'm really excited to see those characters get more screen time, because they seem kind of like left out in the last few projects a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And I think they're super funny and they go so well together. But I haven't checked it out yet. We haven't gotten time, but I think hopefully this week we'll be able to give it a watch, because we love holiday movies and we love Peter Quill and we love the Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Guardians are probably my favorite part of the MCU.
Right now, I think so, yeah.
They probably are.
Now that like Tony's gone and stuff like that, because they're just so fun.
They are a lot of fun.
They're so cool and silly, and everyone likes them. Final bit of news.
Here's the origins.
Is the Origin prequel.
Origins. You asked for it.
You asked for it. You got it. Don't worry. We found one. Ted, the prequel series Origins, just a wrap production. Now, just a little tagline about what the show is about.
Oh my God.
It's a prequel that takes place in 1993 and embraces that era, embraces the 90s, and tracks what is essentially Ted's adolescence, I guess, according to Seth MacFarlane. Ted and John's adolescence and growing up in a Boston suburb, kid. Look, as somebody who grew up in that part of the country, it's a fun thing to try and recreate. I think it's a great idea to like base a show in 90s like Boston suburb. That's genius.
That's how we grew up.
Yeah, it's literally how we grew up.
That's our life. Yeah,
so I think we're gonna really connect with this.
I also think maybe they couldn't get Wahlberg. So like, okay, we don't get Wahlberg. What if we just make a younger version of him?
So if instead of doing like a Ted 3 show,
they were just like Ted Origins.
Just gonna need some like little Irish Jack kid.
Yeah.
Hey Ted, where are you? Thunder Buddies for life, kid.
But everyone's been asking for it. I'm so glad they finally got around to it.
Constant tweets. Where's Ted 3?
I couldn't tell you how many DMs I've gotten. Ted prequel, Ted Origins. We need it.
Yeah,
we need this.
I like Ted, so I think I'll check it out for sure. I don't know where it's going to be, though. I didn't look that up. Probably like...
So you didn't do your research?
I found the story. I found the origin story for this week.
But you skimmed it.
Skimmed it.
You did skim it.
I did skim it. Other than that, that's pretty much all the news. It's kind of a slow week because of the holiday in America. But I'm sure this week we're going to get things kicking with more news. I guarantee you we're going to get a poster, title reveal, and trailer for Indiana Jones 5 this week. Guarantee 2 of the 3.
I'm calling Monday.
Monday,
tomorrow. It's gonna come out.
We also have an episode dropping tomorrow.
That's right.
It's going to be on the best trilogies of all time. Also, big thank you to Sohn Cinema, Timothy, for these awesome Nope hats that we got. It's the hat that Daniel Kaluuya's character wears in like half the movie. It's the logo of their ranching film company, which is so cool. Thanks so much, Timothy. We really love them. Sohn Cinema, that's SEWN_cinema on all platforms. You're the best. These hats are awesome.
Thanks so much, pal. And everyone have a great rest of the weekend.
Take care. Thank you for watching Raiders of the Lost podcast. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, notifications for sure. Listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you can listen to podcasts. And be sure to check out this other content we have on our YouTube channel.